If you woke up this morning with that familiar stiffness in your legs, that slow, heavy feeling when you try to get out of bed, or that sudden realization that climbing stairs feels just a little harder than it used to, then listen very closely, because what I'm about to share with you today might genuinely shock you. Most people think muscle loss is just a normal part of aging, something you can't do anything about. But here's the truth. There is a very specific, very simple, but process happening inside your body that causes muscle loss. And when you understand it, you can reverse it far faster than you've ever been told. Yes, even in as little as 7 days. And what's even more surprising is that the method I'm about to share with you isn't coming from the fitness industry or big pharmaceutical companies. It's inspired by the natural health teachings of Barbara O'Neill, whose work has helped thousands reclaim energy, mobility, and strength by tapping into principles your body already understands. So if you've been feeling weaker, if you've noticed your balance getting worse, or if you've looked in the mirror and thought, when did my muscles start shrinking? Then make sure you stay with me until the very end, because you are about to learn something that could change your health, your independence, and your confidence faster than you might believe. You see, muscle loss, what many people call aging, weakness, is not just about getting older. It's about what your muscles are receiving or what they're not receiving. Every muscle in your body is like a living engine. It needs fuel, it needs signals, it needs repair. But as we get older, two major changes happen. First, your body becomes less efficient at sending nutrients, especially protein and amino acids, to your muscles. Second, your nervous system becomes less active in reminding your muscles to stay awake, stay switched on, and stay strong. So when you're not moving enough, when your diet isn't supporting muscle growth, or when inflammation is stealing nutrients away from your tissues, your muscles don't just weaken, they begin to literally shrink. And the scary part, it can happen faster than you realize. Studies show adults can lose up to 1% of muscle every single year after age 40 and even more after 60. But here's the part nobody talks about. Your muscles are waiting for activation. They're waiting for the right signals. They're waiting for you to give them what they need. And the moment you do, they respond almost immediately, even within days. So what I'm going to do right now is guide you through exactly how seniors can reignite muscle growth, restore strength, and reclaim movement in as little as 7 days. And no, you don't need a gym. You don't need heavy weights. You don't need expensive supplements. And you don't need to spend hours exercising. You simply need to understand what's happening inside you and how to switch your muscle system back on. Barbara O'Neill teaches a simple principle. Support the body and the body supports you. And that is the foundation of what I'm sharing with you today. Let me start by asking you something. Have you ever noticed that when you stop using a muscle even for a short time, it feels weaker almost immediately? That's because the body is efficient. If something isn't being used, it stops sending resources to it. This process is called use it or lose it, but the part people miss is that the opposite is also true. The moment you activate your muscles again, the body responds with powerful rebuilding signals. You might think rebuilding muscle takes months, but the first stage actually begins within 48 hours. The brain starts firing stronger signals to the muscles, blood flow increases, nutrients are redirected, and the tissues begin repairing. This is why so many seniors who start doing the right exercises, even gentle ones, notice improvements shockingly quickly. So let's talk about what really reverses muscle loss. First, your body needs protein, not just any protein, but protein your body can actually use. As Barbara O'Neill often emphasizes, digestion weakens with age, meaning you might be eating enough protein but not absorbing it. This is why so many seniors feel weak even though they're eating normally. Your muscles are starving without you realizing it. The solution? You need easy to digest proteins. Things like lentils, eggs, Greek yogurt, soaked nuts, bone broth, and sprouted grains. When proteins are easier for the body to break down, they flood your muscles with amino acids. And that's when the rebuilding begins. If you've been feeling weak or losing strength, I promise you your muscles aren't the problem. They're simply underfed. Next, let's talk about activation. This is where the 7-day reversal idea comes from. Most seniors think building muscle means doing heavy workouts, sweating buckets, or lifting weights that feel intimidating. That's not how it works. As Barbara O'Neill often teaches, the key is circulation. Blood brings nutrients in, blood carries waste out. Without proper circulation, your muscles can't rebuild. So one of the fastest ways to reverse muscle loss is to perform small, controlled, daily movements that activate large muscle groups without straining your joints. Think of movements like slow squats, holding onto a chair, seated leg raises, gentle push-offs from a countertop, and slow marching in place. You don't need to go fast. You don't need to go heavy. You simply need to signal to your body, we're using these muscles again. Even 10 minutes a day can trigger surprising changes. But here's the real secret, and this is the part almost nobody tells seniors. Muscle loss is not just a physical issue. It's also a metabolic one. If your body's inflamed, if your hormones are imbalanced, or if your cells are sluggish, you won't build muscle no matter how hard you try. That's why Barbara O'Neill always emphasizes natural anti-inflammatory foods: turmeric, ginger, leafy greens, good quality fats like avocado and olive oil, and hydration. If your body is inflamed, your muscles are in a constant state of stress, reducing inflammation clears the path for muscle growth to happen. Now, imagine combining all of this nutrients your body can use, gentle activation movements, and reduced inflammation. What happens? Blood flow improves. Muscles start waking up. Your strength begins returning. Your balance improves. Your energy increases. And within 7 days, most seniors notice things like standing up becomes easier, walking feels smoother, or everyday tasks don't feel as heavy. That's the beginning of reversal. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine someone who has been struggling with muscle weakness for years. Let's say their legs feel unstable, their arms feel heavy, and even bending down feels like a task. They start eating easier to digest protein. They reduce inflammation with simple foods. They drink enough water. Then they begin doing chair squats. They start marching in place for just 60 seconds at a time. They push away from their kitchen counter 10 times a day. At first it feels small, but inside their body, something big is happening. Their brain begins sending stronger electrical signals to the muscles. Their blood flow increases. Their muscle fibers begin repairing. Their mitochondria, the energy engines inside each cell, start functioning more efficiently. And suddenly, within a week, they feel stronger when they stand up. They feel steadier on their feet. They feel more like themselves again. This is not magic. It's biology. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Most seniors believe they have to work hard to build muscle, but the truth is, consistency beats intensity. You don't need an hour a day. You need small, daily activations that keep your muscles awake. Think of your muscles like a phone battery. If you don't charge it regularly, it dies. But if you plug it in for just a short period every day, it stays full. Your muscles function the same way. A few minutes daily keeps them active, responsive, and strong. Let's talk about something else Barbara O'Neill emphasizes often: oxygen. Muscles need oxygen to grow. Shallow breathing reduces strength. Deep breathing increases it. If you haven't been moving much, your lungs may not be fully expanding, which means your muscles aren't getting enough oxygen-rich blood. So, one of the simplest ways to begin reversing muscle loss without even standing up is to practice deep breathing. Inhale deeply, hold for 2 seconds, exhale slowly. Do that 10 times. This alone increases circulation, boosts energy, and supports muscle repair. Another factor that seniors don't realize dramatically affects muscle loss is hydration. Dehydration causes muscle cramps, weakness, and stiffness. Water literally carries nutrients to your muscles. So even mild dehydration can make you feel weaker than you actually are. If you increase your water intake, especially alongside better nutrients and movement, you accelerate muscle recovery. Now let's talk about something extremely important, but often overlooked: sleep. Your muscles don't grow when you exercise. They grow when you sleep. If your sleep is shallow, interrupted, or poor in quality, your muscles never enter their rebuilding phase. This is why Barbara O'Neill always emphasizes natural sleep improvements, turning off screens at night, using magnesium-rich foods, avoiding heavy nighttime meals, and letting the body unwind. When you sleep well, your muscles rebuild rapidly, even if your exercises were gentle. Now let's address something I hear all the time. I'm too old to rebuild muscle. Let me stop you right there. Seniors in their 90s, yes, even 90s, can rebuild muscle with the right approach. Age does not stop your body from strengthening. What stops it is inactivity, poor nutrition, low circulation, inflammation, and stress. Fix these, and your muscles respond. In fact, seniors often experience faster improvements than younger adults because their body is craving activation, it's ready to respond the moment you give it the signal. So let's create a picture of what your first 7 days might look like if you commit to this. Imagine waking up on day 1 feeling stiff. You drink a glass of water. You eat something simple but high in digestible protein, maybe eggs or a Greek yogurt or a warm cup of bone broth. You take a deep breath, then you stand behind a chair and do 5 slow chair squats. Maybe you lift your knees one at a time for 30 seconds. Maybe you press your palms into your kitchen counter 10 times, and that's it. That's your start. The next day, you do the same thing, but maybe you add 1 more squat. Maybe your breathing feels deeper. Maybe your legs feel warmer. By day 3, you feel your balance improving. Your posture feels a little straighter. By day 4, something interesting happens. Your energy starts to rise. This is your metabolism waking up. By day 5, you feel a tiny surge of strength when you get out of bed. By day 6, standing up from a chair feels smoother, less like an effort, and more like a natural movement again. And by day 7, you feel different. You move differently. You carry yourself differently. You feel more alive. That's the reversal. Not complete transformation, because true transformation takes weeks and months, but reversal. The moment your body begins building muscle again instead of losing it. This is the moment most seniors don't realize is possible. They think aging is a one-way path downward, but the body is far more miraculous than that. It responds, it adapts, it heals, it grows, and when you support it using natural principles, nutrition, circulation, activation, oxygen, hydration, and rest, you shift from decline to regeneration. So here's what I want you to remember most from this entire message. Muscle loss is not your destiny. Weakness is not your future. You have more power than you realize. You can rebuild strength. You can regain mobility. You can restore balance. You can reclaim your independence. The body is always listening, always responding, always ready to rebuild itself the moment you give it what it needs. And that process can begin today, right now, with you.